Hello, everyone. My name is Jaquise Moore. I am
Hi.
the host of this lovely page, Learning with Jasmine. And today we have a special guest. I made a call out on Facebook asking anyone who would like to be on my page for a live broadcast, telling their story about themselves or with their children who have autism. And this special guest right here, she's going to introduce herself, and then we're going to get started with the questions and our statements.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Joseph. I am 39. I have three children. The first two are autistic and they have ADHD. And my third one has sensory processing disorder and ADHD. I was diagnosed with autism when I was 19 myself and ADHD way before that. So this is nothing new to me.
Okay. All right. Well, I want to say thank you, Tiffany. I know we talked just a few minutes offline. Thank you for your
Mm-hmm.
time. This is definitely, when we say tell your story, sometimes we, like, okay, but I thank you for your willingness to do that and your time. All right. So, um, please tell us about the journey. You just mentioned about you and your children's diagnosis. So just please kind of give us a rundown a little bit of your child's and yourself journey, your children.
So for me, the first time, so I was diagnosed twice. The first time with Asperger's. That was my first year in college, and I was just very depressed, and I just couldn't make it. And then I ended up being diagnosed with some other things, including Asperger's, and I didn't really pay attention to what that was.
Mm-hmm.
So go down a few more years. I'm already a mother at this point, and I'm having another similar breakdown where, again, I was diagnosed with autism. Now, this is before my kids were diagnosed.
Mm-hmm.
So um, finding out about myself the second time around and doing more research is how my kids ended up being evaluated and diagnosed.
Okay, because is that because knowing that you have autism, like the doctors will say, does anybody in your family have autism for your child or whatever, and then
Mm-hmm.
you say that, okay, all right. And we
Yeah.
for those who were listening last night and for those who were not listening last night, we had an autism parent coach, and she basically just talked about making sure we I actually the intellect we had someone else that yesterday afternoon to talk about intellectual disabilities, developmental disabilities. And they both said, making sure that we are aware of the different uh, things that our children are not possibly doing in that age, and then definitely talk to the pediatrician. And so that's what Tiffany is basically saying is that, and the doctors will ask, like, you know, just the medical questions like, who has blood pressure, who has, all this. And then, of course, for the children, who have a developmental delay in your family and who may have autism. So those are just those questions are general, and then what based upon the answers, and that's where they can follow up. Yes. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and plus my brother, he was actually diagnosed as a child, and both of my parents each have an autistic sister, so it's multi generational with my family.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, and I'm not a doctor, you guys. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely, and I forgot to tell you guys, I have a daughter who's autism. That's why we're here, and it's just interesting because you know, um, it's so important to kind of know, you know, your family's history. Whether it's, you know, it could be one thing to the other, you know, definitely know your family's history, because that will help guide the doctors
The
in
proper diagnosis.
yes, a proper diagnosis. And just the I guess I would I say kind of say it's like the support system will come quicker, if that makes sense,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
you kind of know, you know, so for me, I had a speech delay. My dad had a speech delay, and so just knowing that, um, as soon as I said that, Jam had speech like before 2 years old, you know, and so
Yeah.
it was, you know, it kind of supported her and got, you know, and so like even now at 9 years old, she still has speech, you know, and so it's just interesting how, you know, we sometimes don't want to know because we just don't, you know, or you know, can't find out, but definitely ask around whoever is still around, and you know to ask those important questions, you guys. Okay, and so, um, so you were diagnosed with ADHD or ADD?
ASD.
Oh, ASD.
ADHD from
Yeah,
childhood, from early
ADHD,
childhood.
right? And then
Yeah,
autism,
ASD.
and then you got married, and then you found out um, about your first child.
Yeah. Well, so I already had all three of my kids by the
Oh,
second time
okay,
I was diagnosed.
okay.
And I had not related Asperger's to being autism. I didn't know they were the same thing. So I didn't look for anything. I knew my kids were different. I mean, it's pretty obvious, but I just didn't know what it was until my second diagnosis. And
Mm-hmm.
then it was easier to see what the traits were that we shared and that they had.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So so I have one child. She's 9,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, for you to even be, you know, uh have done this, you were saying offline, you've been doing this for a while, and I definitely recommend and congratulate you, and all big ups and hugs and everything, and supports you and all this, you know, so many words that comes along with it. Definitely, you know, knowing what you know now, like, you
Mm-hmm.
know, the journey, yourself and your children, even like you were saying, your family's family, you know, your aunts,
Yeah.
and you know what you know now. um can we go to the process of like, you know, what you have kind of discovered, or what have you you know, would like to bring awareness to the community about autism? Like, how is your children doing? How are you doing? Can we go through that process?
So I guess the main thing I would say as far as awareness that needs to be considered with autism is that, uh, first of all, communication over everything.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't care if your child can speak or not speak, has a delay, doesn't have a delay. They should be working on different forms of communication besides speech.
That's good.
Um, a, a lot of people think that autistic people are not um, listening when they are. So listening doesn't have a look. So it's hard to keep your eyes focused because of the sensory processing that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people with autism will not be looking at you, but they're paying attention and they understand what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So just remember that if they uh, if you think they're not paying attention, they most likely are. Our signs are opposite when it comes to what looks like paying attention. Like I can't look in your face because there's a lot of sensory things going on and still understand and process your words. So if you want to, if you think we're not listening, just get that out of your head. Don't try to make us look at your eyes or your face to listen, because it does the opposite for us.
Wow, you guys, that I didn't, I've heard of those, kind of thing, but to hear that, you know, instead of like just watching on a video for like a certification class or whatever, it's definitely making me process, and I can definitely pinpoint when Jasmine is doing this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I mean, when she's doing this, actually, she's more like probably excited. So then you can kind of hear her speech, like her speech just rumble. It's just like, it's just too fast, and she's not putting her words together. So for her to kind of slow down, I have to say, Jasmine, look at me and kind of breathe, slow it down. But her mind is racing. So you were talking about the sensory part. Her mind is racing, and she's like, like shaking. And I'm like, calm down. I need for you to breathe, and type of thing. And literally, we're just doing that yesterday. But that is definitely a good awareness. Anything else you would like to tell us about awareness?
So I think autism should be considered more of a brain-body disconnection. It's not a mental disorder. It's not a behavioral thing at all. Usually what's underlying the behavior problems that are going on are bodies that are not, they're not controlled by our mind. So things that we're doing might be things we don't want to do ourselves.
Like, for example, what would that be? What would that look like?
So I know for me, like jumping, like the urge to jump all the time. I can force that down, but I don't know if a kid can, or the urge to climb something or take something apart, like little destructive ways that I sometimes would, I guess, make my parents mad with, were things that I really, it's like I went into a trance when I was, behaving like that. It wasn't like I was controlling that. Sometimes running away, just from the big emotions that could be there. Like I run when people cry or are very happy. Sometimes sounds will make me run, and these are things I can control now as an adult that I could not as a child. That comes in late.
Wow. I didn't know that. I know that Jasmine was a runner. I didn't realize until you just kind of pinpoint that. I just thought that Jasmine was just like, I was like, the little the book bags, and you use like a chain type of thing. You hold one, and like that. And I was like,
all right, for my son.
I was like, let me do that because I'm about to go to the zoo and whatever. But she was a runner. Not extreme, but one time we were at a park, we were going to the park, and she was so excited to go to the park, and she almost got hit by a car. And I was like, okay, that's not gonna work. That's definitely not gonna work. Exactly. And I mean, she was like maybe 4 years old, but she wasn't diagnosed until she was 7. And so I didn't really realize what was going on until maybe
it's the same with my son.
Right. I
Yeah,
didn't
he
know
was
until like
diagnosed
around five and a
later,
half,
and
6 that I was like, okay, I think she has autism. Let me,
yeah.
let me talk to some specialists that I know, and really two good close friends of mine. They work with children with autism all the time, and they said, okay, give it about 6 more months, because I've always stated, if it's autism, it will be known when it comes, and
Yeah.
so it will be known when it comes. There will be some signs, and just stepping back and writing down what I saw those 6 months. So then when I went to her pediatrician, I had everything. I had the data, I have, and it was full blown. um Within 5 minutes, she was like, she has autism. And so that's exactly,
Hmm.
because I had the data, and I had it kind of like, I guess it's the word is say stir up. It was stirring up the pot. And by 6 months, it was more known that she had autism. And so definitely, um, just definitely, again, going back and looking at the different uh things that your child does, and then write it down, and then definitely talk to the pediatrician. Okay. And so I like what you said, though, um that autism is a wide spectrum. And one person does this, one person does that. One person reacts to this, and one person reacts to that. But I love the simple fact that, even for me, I did not know certain things that you said. And so bringing awareness, you guys, this is what it's all about. And so I read something a couple days ago, or was it today? I think it was on Instagram. And it said, just because I'm, just because was I'm not responding, I'm not stupid. And so, like, just you saying, like, just because I'm not looking towards you, I'm not listening. And so that was something that is definitely, because usually what happens is that, you know people look at, okay, that person's not looking at me, so they might have autism. But then when you have autism, you're saying, which is like, wow, okay, then we have to kind of still change our mindset, that even though they're not
Yeah.
looking at you, uh, they're still listening, and they're picking up over whatever it is. So that's
Right.
definitely a good
Yeah. Don't try
awareness.
to force neurotypical standards on autistic behaviors,
Hmm,
because we do things for completely different reasons than you might know. A lot
hmm.
of times we're fighting our bodies inside, we're fighting the outside sensory environment. There's a lot going on. We behave very differently, and it's not any probably anywhere the reasons that neurotypicals do some things.
So for those who do not know, what is like fighting the body, or fighting the environment? What does that look like, and what does that feel like when there's stuff that's coming along, sensory and all that other stuff? What does that look like for those who do not know?
So, so light can be like very overpowering.
Mm,
So you might have just a little bit of light to you, but to me, I can't see anything. It's like the sun being directly in your eyes. Um, or one thing I can't stand to hear is more than one voice talking at the same time. So when I'm in a crowd and just two voices will send me, but I'm in a crowd where there's like 30, 40 voices. I can't, it's like my brain tries to hear every conversation
mm,
at the same time instead of picking up on one conversation. I can't, like, there's no filter of background noises.
okay.
Certain things that might happen in different rooms, they sound like they're right directly in my ear.
Hmm.
And then, like what I was talking about before, like fighting the urges you're body wants to make, like running or moving or swimming or jumping or what have you,
Okay, and
things
the
that wouldn't
stimming
be
would be
so,
like this, you guys. It usually
all
would
kinds of
be
things.
all
Yeah.
kind of things, but you know, you usually will probably see this first, depending upon the child, but you would probably
Okay.
see this, you know, a little more. Yes.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
so it's like we got to use our body to like lower the things coming in and out from us.
Mm.
So we have to, like, the stimming is a way of um, like releasing some of the pressure that's building up inside or blocking some of the input that's coming in that we don't like.
So that would be
Um,
like more like a meltdown too. When the behave, you know, when the meltdown comes and the body reacts and try to fight back, whatever, and then you know there's a meltdown. Like for Jasmine, she probably would need a meltdown to release herself because she also has global delay. So you have autism, you have the environment, you have all the things, and she also have an actual diagnosis of global delay, which is always about the environment and the sensory of other people. The 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 um the energy of me controls the way she reacts, if that
oh
makes
yes,
sense.
definitely.
And so
Yes,
I
and
had to
I
get
wrote a
I had to
post
get to
about
that
that.
point. It was me. I heard that from people, certain people. It was you, Jaquise, and I'm like offended. I was offended,
Hmm.
but I had to get to the truthful. And as soon as I became truthful about myself, I tell you not, my daughter's behavior has decreased like 90%.
Exactly. Yep. That's what it takes. Yep.
And it's,
Yep.
it's it's like, oh my goodness, like you don't know how many months that could have been if you were listening to other people, but I had to get to that point. And so I'm telling you guys,
Hmm.
listeners, you guys, if you are frustrated with, you know, whatever it is, as a adult, your child is feeding off of that, you know. And it don't have to be being about children with autism. It could be about, you know, anyone, you know, no, someone we have a diagnosis or not, you know, because children hear conversations. You know, if mom and dad is stressed over money and mom and dad stressed over COVID-19, if mom and dad stresses over whatever the job, they feed off of that. And so that's where the social emotional comes along. That's where depression with children comes along. It doesn't matter what walks of life it is. So it's definitely important to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves and we having self-care, um, so that we can support our child. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. This is some good talk, you guys. Okay, so Tiffany, can you give us encouragement to the parents, those who are listening, those who have children with autism, those who do not have children with autism or ADHD or whatever? Just give us some encouraging words.
Um, one of the things I like to point out is that there is so much technology. So I'm really big into adaptive tech or assistive technology for people with disabilities. So I also have epilepsy, and sometimes when I have seizures, I can't talk. So I use an AAC device.
Mm-hmm.
And for people who have speech problems, I, well, like I said before, every autistic person, whether they can speak or not, should be using other forms of communication like sign language or AAC devices, even low tech things like pointing to letters on a board. But yeah, there should be alternate forms of communication because
Mm-hmm.
there are times when we're just not accurate with what we're saying. So uh, we might not say what is really on our mind. We might say no when we mean yes. Um, it comes
Mm.
with anxiety. It comes with a lot of people with autism have situational or selective mutism where they can't speak in certain situations. So there should be other ways. And I will also say that for non-speaking people or nonverbal people, communication is the great equalizer. So through communication, I mean, I have non-speaking friends that go to college, have master's degrees, have good jobs, have marriages, never spoke a day in their life, but they can communicate and reach their goals because people know what their goals are because they can communicate. So I would say people need to focus on the fact that there are all these different technologies to help us live independent lives. So don't worry about, don't fret about the kids' futures. There's lots of different things coming out that just make our lives easier. But you should know some autistic or disabled people so you get to know what those things are. Because I think there's a gap for the parents and the people who are living the lives. Like we've already discovered things to make our lives easier, while parents are fretting for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Wow. You said something that I did like this, like when Jasmine says yes, it means no. And when she says no, it means yes. There's like sometimes like, okay, oh no, okay, oh no, I don't know. And so I also have changed that mindset with me because I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So I would again repeat to her, okay, if you say yes, this will happen. If you say no, this will happen. And then take the time to allow her to actually, kind of think about it, process it, yeah, and then respond. Because I was confused for a while. If she wants her toy, she doesn't want her toy. And then she cries because I took the toy away. And then she cries because she wants a toy. And so that was very confusing to me at first. But then researching and how to allow her to like, I'm a teacher, so like taking the time to let them process and then respond and go from there. And then of course people, like we as adults, we change our minds. So that's that's what I put in my mind, like, okay, it's okay to change your mind. And that I tell Jasmine, it's okay, you change your mind, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. And so then it's much smoother, and there's no issues with frustration because I said yes, but I really mean no. In my body, I really mean no. And then I said no, but I really mean yes. And so that's definitely a good pinpoint that you said. All right. Anything else that you would like to tell us? How are your children doing were your children in school and then now they're home, or how does that work now?
Yeah, now we're doing virtual learning in MCPS schools, and it's going. I don't know how well it's going, but it's going. I'd rather it just be going not even great than to anybody get sick with COVID. So I guess that's the plus. So I can't say there's anything negative about it. It's not ideal, but I'd rather stay healthy.
Right. But how are they doing academically? Like, is it is it better? Is it, so-so? Is it?
It's so-so. They do need a lot of accommodations. And I would say a lot of these accommodations they can't get in virtual learning, but it's not like they're having a problem with the learning itself. It's just the executive functioning tasks it takes to be a virtual learner. There's 3 of them and 1 of me, so I'm, you're
doing the best that you can, and you're doing awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
You're doing awesome.
Thank you.
Definitely doing awesome. And like I said, I started learning with Jasmine because I was stressed. You know, with one child, it doesn't matter if diagnosis or not. So definitely, I definitely recommend those who have more than one child and have one of them, only one of them. You know, whether you are a single parent or not, you know, congratulations, parents. Big ups to you all who have more than one child, you know, type of thing. But we are definitely in this together, and I thank you, Tiffany, for your time and your words. This has definitely been, it's been a different twist to Learning with Jasmine. Let's chat.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, if you want to learn more, I speak about autism on both sides, being a parent and a autistic person on my Instagram on nai.functioning.autism. Nai spelled like high dot functioning.autism.
Okay, so this is what I want you to do, Tiffany, when I'm done. And after we have chatted offline, and then so I officially thank you. And then I post the video, the link on your messaging. Okay. Then I want you to go on there, and I want you to put on anything, any contacts, any IG, you know.
Okay.
Whatever. I want you, And so if you have any questions, you guys, with Tiffany, this is Tiffany's show. I just facilitate it. And so if you have any questions, Tiffany will answer you and go from there. I want to thank you, Tiffany, again for your time and your words and your awareness. Again, this is the different twist. And you guys, I'm gonna have to look at my notes. On Tuesday, we're going to have another parent who it is Jasmine's birthday month. So I has parents or specialists to come on and talk about autism. And she is Lorraine Twigg. She is going to be talking to us about her journey. She has autism and her children have autism too. So these are like it's a different twist. But you know, it's something about when it's personal.
Yeah.
When it's personal, it's like, this is how Learning with Jasmine has grown, because I've been personal. And so this is a different twist to it. So I really thank you, Tiffany, for your time. And again, once we're done and the video is ready, then you can just go on the comments below and you can put all your information on there. Okay, you guys. It's been great, you guys. So again, I will see you next Tuesday. And the time of that is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you guys. All right. Have a great day and have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.